Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. How's everyone today? Hope you're doing well. We are on self-love lesson number 21 of 30. 21 of 30. I'm learning my own lessons the last 24 hours. Whew, it's been crazy. But let's get going with the affirmators deck. All right, the affirmators deck. Resilience. Sticks and stones may break my bones, and unkind words can somehow drain every bit of joy and color from my once rosy life. But nothing can ever permanently damage the real me. I love myself, I cherish myself, and I vow to remember that I'm always camped out in the depths of myself, even when I don't feel like very much of myself. So again, sticks and stones may break my bones, and unkind words can somehow drain every bit of joy and color from my once rosy life. But nothing can ever permanently damage the real me. I love myself, I cherish myself, and I vow to remember that I'm always camped out in the depths of myself, even when I don't feel like very much of myself. So here you have a little, looks like a little beaver doing some marshmallow roast in there. But it is about resilience. You know, self-love is about resilience. It's about reminding yourself that even when you feel alone in a crowded room, that you were not. That, you are, you're present. Even if you don't feel present, you are present. And that can be the hardest feeling a lot of times. That can be just kind of draining because, you're trying to feel your way through your feelings. And, self-love is not for the faint of heart. It can be very, very hard because you are facing truths about yourself that, maybe you didn't want to, maybe you didn't want to face. I'm struggling a bit here because this card really hits home for me. This card really, really hits home for what I've been dealing with in the last week to really narrowing it down to the last 12 hours. And there's been a part of me that's just struggled to move forward. And while I've been doing the self-love lessons, as you know, I've been really kind of following along as closely as I can with all of you. And I found some things out about myself that, I realized are no longer relevant, are no longer true. Good morning, baby sibling. So, just like yesterday's self-love lesson and part of self-care, which I thought was perfect for the day because it was talking about what can you do for yourself? How can you take care of yourself? I really had to dig deep. I really had to go in and go forward. And that's what I like about the resilience card is, I literally just journaled that, and I'll read it to you. I was kind of working stuff out in my head this morning, and out loud, I just heard myself saying, you're trying to protect a you that doesn't exist anymore, or that doesn't need protecting anymore. And sometimes we have to believe that, that there's always going to be that lighthouse out there that guides you, right? Even when you feel like you were in the darkest, deepest, stormiest waters, that there's a lighthouse out there and you're being guided, whether it's by your higher powers or your spidey instincts, whatever it is you believe in. And sometimes it's afraid, or sometimes it's scary to lose sight of the shore because you're afraid of what might happen. You're afraid, what if I drift too far? What if I can't find the land again? But, you have to trust that the path that you're on is the path that you're meant to be on. And I think part of my problem has been that I've just, so you could tell, these are my telltale signs of when I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. I get fidgety, right? I'm fixing my clothes, rubbing my eyes, stumbling over my words. But the truth is, we all have this resilience inside of us. I was texting with baby sibling yesterday and she brought up some things that made perfect sense. And at first it didn't make sense to me. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's it. But as I started to think about it, it really kind of started to take root in my thoughts. And it was something that I had to work through and something I've literally been working through for the last like I said, 12 hours or, maybe even a little bit longer. But I've been dealing with a lot over the last week, even while I was on vacation. It's kind of when it started. But again, in the last 12 hours, it's really kind of hit its peak. It's really kind of made its presence known, in the sense that I think a lot of how I handle things is very, very regimented, very, very, maybe it's not about breaking rules and, going against the grain, but it's about, prioritizing. A lot of times we stick with what we're really, really good at because we're afraid that, if we focus on things that we don't have as much experience in, we're going to fail. And I feel this greatly. In fact, I may need to talk to somebody about this in a few minutes when I'm done with this perspective, because I have a feeling I hit the nail on the head. And the worst part is I can't write this down because I'm talking to all of you. But I mean, that's not the bad part. I mean, obviously I enjoy doing this and I enjoy sharing, but sometimes the hardest thing that we can do is go deep inside of ourselves and ask ourselves why we feel this way. And I think a lot of the way that I have lived my life has been focused in areas because I know I'm good at certain things, and trying new things is scary, or putting yourself in front of life, putting yourself in a position of falling in love, or being a part of a relationship, or being a part of any kind of relationship, a friendship, family relationships, work relationships. It's scary because you get these feelings like, what if I'm not good at it? I'm so good at doing this over here, but what if I'm not good at doing this over here? And so we shift our focus in the wrong directions, and we give too much attention to the things that we're good at, and we don't give ourselves enough we don't give ourselves enough credit at what we could also be good at. And maybe you are good at something, but you feel like you're not. I know not a lot of this doesn't make sense, and it's really kind of working itself out in my mind. But resilience is a huge thing. It is a huge, huge thing. And resilience comes in all shapes and sizes. It could be the smallest thing to the biggest thing. And I really feel like I'm tripping over my words here because a lot of stuff is literally working itself out in my mind as we talk. So we'll just get to the self-love lesson. But like I said, resilience is a huge thing. And even when you feel like you are alone in a crowded room, remember, this is one of the reasons we're doing self-love. Because you are always with yourself. Always. And when you feel like the world may not be there for you, you have to learn how to be there for you. And that can be hard. That can be a struggle. A lot of times I think we depend on people to help us through our stuff, or we hope that they'll be there to help us through our stuff. And people have lives. People have things to do. And that's when we have to learn to depend on ourselves. And I'm not sure, I've ever been able to truly, truly do that, because I don't think I've ever trusted myself enough. We all make decisions that we're not proud of. We all make decisions that we think are going to turn out better. And life has a funny way of working. What is it that they say, that life happens while you're busy making plans? So sometimes you just have to learn how to go with the flow and just allow nature to take its course. Right? So, self-love lesson number 21. What's something you're working on believing that you deserve? Seriously, didn't I just cover this? I thought I heard a cat. Sorry, see, this is what happens. Now I'm getting distracted. I know this is going to sound terrible, but there is something that is just dying to come out of me, and I don't know what it is. My anxiety's peaking. I'm getting very fidgety. My breathing is becoming shallow, and my brain is it's shutting down. It is just like, nope, 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 nope. And this is something that I just need someone to tell me, just stop and move forward. Just stop being a dumbass and just move forward. And I'm not saying that other people that go through these things are a dumbass. I know what I need to do. I just, for some reason, it feels like a general of an army, right? I mean, maybe you command your own armies and you're sitting there going, oh God, but I need someone higher to tell me, just stop being dumb and move forward. And I'm telling you, every single one of us deserves a good life, no matter what we've been through, no matter what traumas we've suffered. We deserve to open ourselves up, and we deserve to free ourselves from these shackles, these self-imposed shackles that we put on ourselves. And sorry, here it comes. You know, the funny thing is, I did not put makeup on this morning. I just put mascara on, and I thought, I'm just not feeling it today. We'll do lipstick, blush, and mascara. That's all we need. And now I'm not sure if it's because I'm about to have like a serious cry fest today. And, you know, just to kind of sidestep here, when we see people crying, sometimes people's first instincts are to say, stop being a crybaby. When I get angry, when I get super duper happy, when I get super duper excited, sometimes I just cry. Especially when I'm angry or when I'm upset. And it doesn't mean we're crybabies. If God didn't want you, or your higher powers didn't want you to cry, you wouldn't have fucking tear ducts, okay? That's why we have the tear ducts. It's a release. Think of it as like when you open up a pressure cooker, right? You know, you're always worried and scared about opening it because you don't want to get burned by the steam. But that's, think of it as like that. You're letting off steam. You're letting out all this stuff. And I'm struggling with that. But again, what's something you're working on believing that you deserve? I deserve to be happy. And I think that's my struggle. I think, stupidly, I know I shouldn't be putting myself down and saying bad things, but I feel like I'm just not going to be good at it. I have spent so much of my life hiding from true feelings, from true happiness, from true everything. Just holding back just enough where, you've, just in case you get hurt. In fact, I was watching one of my shows this morning, and all I kept thinking was, this girl was like, oh, I really like this guy. He likes me just for me. I was watching She-Hulk, and I don't want to give anything away in case you haven't seen it. But, the first thing I thought of was questioning what is this person's motives? And it's like, I was right, but at the same time, all I can think of is, why is that the first instinct that I go to? Why is it that I'm just constantly questioning somebody's motives, and I think that's part of the problem of why I've been single for so long, is that I haven't been able to trust anyone, and I can't even trust myself. So if I can't trust myself, how am I going to trust somebody else? But, I think part of the problem is I've been hurt so many times. And then, of course, just add the steroid version of something bad from my trauma. And it's just, trust is something that is just so foreign to me. And I know that that's the number one thing I need to work on. Something I wrote in my journal this morning: move out of fear and move into trust. Move out of fear and into trust. I think that's how I wrote it down. I actually texted it to myself because I wasn't near my phone. So the magic of watches, right? It's time to move out of fear and into trust. And I'm struggling with that. And the really lame part is I'm sitting here trying to promote self-love lessons and to help people out there discover their own self-love and to fall in love with themselves and who they truly are, and to be, feeling so magnificent that the world sees who you are. And I can't even do it for myself. It feels like a little bit like a hypocrite. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all, because it's not fair to me, and it's not fair to all of you watching. But at the same time, I think being open, raw, and honest will also help people tap into their own feelings, to really kind of dig deep and figure out what it is that you need to do if you're struggling with the self-love lessons. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really struggling until today and until yesterday. Yesterday's lesson was pretty cut and dry, and I did everything that I had set out to do. But I feel like I kind of let myself down in a way, because I realized this morning, when I kept hearing that internal voice sit there and say, the person that you're protecting doesn't need protecting anymore. And that would have been me. That would have been, the floof I talk about, right? My inner floof, my inner child. And it's almost like my inner child is screaming at me, just get out there and live already. Stop being a dumbass. Stop hiding from the world. Just, be a part of it. Be in it. Be out there. Open yourself to the opportunities. Open yourself to every good thing that you deserve. And I guess that's what I'm working on. What's something you're working on, believing that you deserve. And if I put why on there, and it's like, why not? Don't we all deserve to be happy? Don't we all deserve this beautiful life that we've imagined since we were children? Maybe some of us got lost in our fantasy world, where we're constantly battling demons and dragons, right? Because, it makes us feel good about ourselves for all the times that we were so vulnerable and couldn't protect ourselves. And I really feel like this is just, you know what? I feel like this is really working itself out in front of all of you. And so I do thank you for your patience with that. But I also want you to take note that, it's like I've said in the past. I share my story so other people can heal theirs. There's lots of things I've had to be raw and honest about, and some things that are just really kind of that little icky spot on your character, right? Because you don't want to be that person anymore, and you realize there were reasons why you were that person. Just kind of protecting yourself or trying to scratch someone's eyes out before they hurt you, when that was never their intention. And older sibling wrote, "Live. Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death." There's a quote for you. But yeah, I could say the same to her. But I don't want to be the poor sucker starving to death anymore, right? I mean, not that I think any of you are out there as suckers, but I don't know where that quote came from. I know I've heard it before, but, older sibling makes a really good point with it. And we have to live. Our very reason for waking up every morning isn't to just sit around and, excuse me, isn't just to sit around on the couch all day watching TV. It's to exist. I mean, that's all people are doing, is existing when they do that. Our purpose every morning is to wake up and live, to get out there, to experience life, to experience joy, to do all the things we know we're worthy of, and to do all the things that we know we deserve. And we forget that a lot of times. Sorry, my voice is just, I just have this tickle in my throat. It came from MAME, right? Of course it did. In fact, it was probably MAME saying that. So, this is not going to be a very long perspective. I have a lot of things I have to work out, and I can tell because my internal voice is trying to stifle itself. So, that's the tickle in the throat. All these things are just saying no, no, because it's in protection mode now. It's in, I'm in protection mode now, and I got to come out of it, and I got to figure out how to get out of it. And so that's what I'm going to do today. That is something I'm going to work on because I believe I deserve it. I believe I deserve to shine like the brightest lighthouse out there, to be a beacon for other people. When I was journaling, the page I was journaling on had a lighthouse in the bottom corner of it. My mother loved lighthouses, and I took that as a sign of her telling me it's okay to live. No matter how dark the waters, I will be there to be your light. There are plenty of people over there to be my light. People here, guides, higher powers, sources, whatever it is you turn to. But for me, that was a sign from my mom that says, you know what? My mom used to call me babe. She's like, you know what, babe? It's time to just get out there and live. To do something that, she didn't do to the fullest. I mean, yeah, she loved my dad and I. I mean, she was happy, but I know that there were parts of her that she kept hidden. And I found out a lot of these things after my mother passed. And I think a lot of that held her back from a lot of experiences that she probably could have had. And I think a lot of that just kind of sat in her and kept her from truly healing and just completely living a life where she didn't have to worry about anything. Where she didn't have to feel like, she was being eyeballed. In a way, my father and I were her shield. I mean, her and my dad loved, they would say to each other, and they'd say it to me, that they were the love of each other's lives. But I think sometimes she hid behind us. And I never even thought about that because my mom always seemed like the strongest person I knew. But sometimes I think she hid behind us. Like, maybe there was just one part of her that wasn't able to truly, truly experience a life where she didn't have to worry about something. That nagging background feeling. And that's something I've carried with my own trauma that I think has just, it was been a shield of mine for so long and a wall of mine for so long that I didn't even realize it was still there. And that's what I want to work on breaking down. Shields are a good thing to have. Walls are a terrible thing to have. A shield protects us. A wall fortifies us. It keeps us, locked in. When someone got locked in the Tower of London, it wasn't for their safety, right? It was because it was like a punishment. Walls can be a punishment. So, a shield you can put down, you can walk away from, you can pick it up when you need it. When you hide behind all these walls and all this fortification, you are hiding from the world. You're keeping all the good things out. And sure, there might be people brave enough to climb those walls, to get in there, to check on you, to make sure you're okay. But sometimes we become so feral within those walls that maybe we lash out and they're just like, you know what, I'm out. But when we're lucky, the people who truly, truly see us will stay there. They'll set up camp down below, they'll wait for you to be okay while trying to coax you out. But the only person that can get you out from those walls is you. So if you're struggling with that, if you're struggling with, I don't know, shame or stigma or whatever, don't worry about those people. Hurt people hurt people. Mean people are just mean, and there are all of those in the world. It's that balance, right? The balance of good and evil. There's always going to be some dickhead out there trying to tear you down. But when you have self-love on your side, when you truly know who you are and what you're made of, that's the best shield you can have. Because their words won't mean anything. Their words will just be, they'll bounce off you like, oh, I'm sorry that you're that sad. Or I'm sorry that you're that angry. But we'll learn to not take it personally. We'll learn to just say, okay, that's a sad person. That's a hurt person. And who knows, you might even have the strength to ask them, what's wrong? Are you okay? A lot of times that'll put them on the defensive because now you're asking them to be honest. And that can be hard. And I've been there. I've lashed out at people in pain and anger and tears because I thought I wasn't being heard when all people were trying to do was listen. And that's not something I'm proud of. That's something that I continue to make amends for, even though it's not necessary anymore, because they've all just kind of given me that grace and that compassion because they know I've changed. They know I've been working on it. And that was the feral part of me. That was the part of me that was just afraid of healing because it's not a familiar territory to me. Complete joy and happiness is without the other shoe dropping is not something I'm familiar with. It's like being in an open field and knowing there's lions around. Or maybe a velociraptor or two, depending on which movie you're in. But it's scary, but you just have to trust. You just have to trust that you're going to make it through life and that everything is going to be okay. And that you're going to have the right people around you to take care of you, to help see you through on this path. And you'll do the same for others. You know, when we start to heal in our own story, we open ourselves up to healing other people in their stories. Okay, so I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day today. Thank you for bearing with me. That was not exactly how I planned this to go, but it is how it went. So, yeah, I think the best we can do is just really be honest with yourself. When you ask yourself what's something you're working on, believing that you deserve, shoot for the stars. You know, shoot for the moon, shoot for Jupiter, shoot for the other end of the galaxy, because you deserve that. You know, you don't just deserve the sky, you deserve what's beyond the sky. And that is a big part of self-love. That is a big part of learning that, is knowing that we are worthy of a beautiful life. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day today. I will talk to all of you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Oracle Friday. If you're not into the Oracle Friday, it's okay. Monday, I'll be back either day, Monday or Friday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Under Shelly Marie Lucas. Shelly Marie is one word. Only one E in Shelly. But Shelly Marie is one word. Or you can catch the replay on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. And I do also share it to my Facebook page, the Aloha Perspective. So again, tomorrow is Oracle Friday. If you're not into that, Monday, lesson number 22 of self-love. This is going to be a good question. In fact, I'm going to share it right now so you can think about it for Monday. What things make you feel bad, but you find yourself doing them anyway? I may have to refer back to today for that one. So again, tomorrow, Oracle Friday. If there's anything you want answered, put it out there. I will do my best to get an answer for you. So have a great, great day, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging in there. And I will talk to you all tomorrow or Monday. Have a great day.